Happy Father's Day and welcome to the PodAskew Podcast. I am CJ and with me as always is my hetero life mate Rico. What's up, man?
What's up, fucker?
Fucker, thanks.
Starting off interesting, man. I'm just trying to throw you off. You didn't have anything in your mouth, so I was trying to
yeah. That sounds worse than I think it should, but that's all right.
Hence the fucker.
Yeah, it is Father's Day, and so happy Father's Day to all of our fathers that may be out there. I know OC's a dad. I'm sure he listens.
Or as I call it, Happy Motherfucker Day.
Motherfucker Day, there you go. I like that, actually. I might have to use that. Speaking of OC, did you see what he's doing with his art?
Oh, dude, I don't know about you, but I'm more jealous the fact that, I just don't have the time to go and look. Background: OC, fucking wonderful octopus caveman, who came on our show, once?
Twice.
Well, yeah, twice. I jokingly called him my nemesis because
totally.
I worked, I regard him as a friend and really talented fucking artist, and has been
in multiple mediums, not just
in multiple mediums,
yeah,
and multi-talent. I mean, he's got, for every tentacle that he has is a true fucking artistic talent.
Yeah.
And he has been, he did a post on Twitter where he said he's never going to sell another painting. He'll never sell a painting, that, he does this for genuine love and to make people happy. So the fact that he's been doing this and doesn't want to send, I think, is phenomenal. And he's been doing a scavenger hunt where he puts out tweets and clues of where his paintings are going to be. He drops them off, and whoever finds them gets them. And I think that's beautiful. And like I said, I'm jealous. Even though I'm closer than you are, I just don't have the time or funds or resources to go out and look for a fucking painting of a sad clown or some shit. The fucking thing is, I want to write to him and be like, hey man, I really want a painting, but now I just
I kind of did that for us on the show Twitter. I basically said something to the effect of this is awesome. It's a shame we can't get one. Because he knows where we're located, respectively. So he knows that we're not able to get to LA. But it wasn't meant as a shot at him. It was more of we want
one too.
The only thing that sucks is that at one point he was going to sell me one months ago.
Right.
A while back when he was still selling them, and the one I wanted to buy got picked up yesterday, and I was like, yeah. But I mean, look, it's a cool concept, and of course, Twitter being Twitter, somebody had to get shitty with him about it. But
yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've read the thing a couple times, and I get what the guy was saying, but just shut the fuck up.
I think it's really whatever the artist feels. If the artist wants to sell, let them sell their product. If the artist wants to make a game and a scavenger hunt or a treasure hunt of their art, that in its own way is the artist's choice. I don't think this person can really get bent out of shape. I think if an artist decides to, what? They
can, but I mean, what good does it do?
I mean, all it's doing is just making them look, they're alone in that argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen anybody else jump to that person's defense. It's kind of they're alone. It's kind of like you and Halloween,
which is still a thing. It's
yes.
It doesn't.
I keep
end.
dragging that out, man. I keep bringing that up. Look, I genuinely never want to hurt your feelings. You know that.
I do know that.
But for our listeners, I do like CJ. I may come off like a complete prick sometimes to him, and vice versa. But we are genuinely friends.
When do I ever come across as a prick to you?
If you don't re-listen to our recordings, do you?
Multiple times.
When you're editing it, but then you never go back. You're like,
yes,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe not as much as that, but
I'm telling you, we are both pricks.
Okay, fine. If we're both pricks, at least there's equal opportunity prickness going on.
We're little pricks. We're like a fucking flu shot. That's what we are, okay?
Go ahead. You had a point, though.
My point is that I'm always like bringing up the Halloween thing because I know he is alone in this. And I've been sort of tweeting at other horror fans as well as horror podcasts. And not every time, but there are many times where I'm just like, you know what I love is Halloween. You know what my friend doesn't like? Halloween. Let's talk shit about him for 2 seconds.
I saw the back and forth with you and Cat Ears about it.
Yeah. Cat Ears and I've been we've been DMing each other, and that didn't mean to make that sound as dirty as it was, but we've been getting pretty friendly, and there's a possibility that I may come on one of her podcasts in the future and talk horror movies. Horror movies. Okay, well that'd be fun. We're gonna talk about our love for Halloween. You fuck.
All right, well that's fair. I don't want anything to do with that one. But
that's what I'm saying.
Someone got shitty with her on Twitter today or yesterday too, but we took care of that. So.
Well, I don't remember that one. I didn't see that one.
That's not what the OC things about his painting, and not to discredit his passion. This is a little more personal though, so we'll talk about that off the air. But either way, it was bullshit and fuck that guy. And that's
fuck that guy for what I don't know what you did, but fuck that guy.
Trust me, when you hear, you'll agree. But either way, she's been fun to talk to. The thing that's different about, and I use the word different loosely, with you just randomly tweeting horror podcasts and throwing me under the bus, is at least at least Cat Ears.
That was so funny.
It came up with Cat Ears because she listened to the Halloween episode and was commenting on the show. So as long as it's got people listening to the show, then I will take the heat for that.
You know, I'm trying to rationalize your rationale.
You know what? You said something in a back and forth, I think with Cat Ears, but I could be wrong. It could have been somebody else. And it did get me to look at the movie a little bit differently than previously.
Oh, I think I know that I called it the Clerks for horror films or something?
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it was. And it was like, oh, okay, well, if we're going from that perspective, I get it, but I still don't see the classic that a lot of people or everybody seems to see, but and honestly, let's be fair that I mainly shit on it just to irritate you. Like I don't know
if that's true. I think that you're using that as a defense. I think you genuinely just hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I do find it kind of stupid, but I don't hate it. There's a difference between.
But I would also argue that you would find most horror movies probably kind of stupid.
I remember there was one, and I don't know that it qualifies as a horror, but it fucked with me pretty good for like a day that I watched years ago. And that was Gothica with Halle Berry.
Oh, and RDJ.
Is RDJ in that? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Iron Man and Catwoman.
That one fucked with me pretty good. Like, that one had me kind of spooked for like a couple hours.
Dude, I remember reading Robert Downey Jr. accidentally broke Halle Berry's arm filming a scene where like she's going crazy schizo and shit, and he's trying to restrain her because I think he was a doctor for her. He was like her shrink or something.
I really don't remember.
She struggles so hard, and he's in the moment of acting accidentally broke her fucking arm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ironically,
this is after he got off drugs too.
Right. I honestly don't remember RDJ, but I remember Kai McBride. How funny is that?
Is it Kai or I thought it was Chai McBride?
I think it's Kai. I think it's
okay.
Either way, you know who I'm talking about. Like
yeah.
Because he's in that movie too, and I remember him.
It's been years since I saw Gothica. I didn't particularly think it was scary, but I remember wanting to watch it from beginning to end.
It's more of a suspense type of thing, like a fuck with your head kind of movie.
Suspense is scary.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but there's a difference between like I was gonna say Saw, but I feel like Saw's a little bit of fuck with your head too. But I'm talking. There's a difference between like the slasher versus something like Gothica where it's all like mental fucking with your brain.
Sure,
kind of thing.
I can. Well, I mean, so by that rationale, it's closer to like something like Exorcist, I guess.
No, see, I still feel like because there's a monster in Exorcist. I think with Gothica, it's all in her head, if I recall. Like, it's not actually, The Exorcist, there's actually a demon involved, is what I'm saying. Like, there's still
true.
You know what I mean? Like, the demon possesses the little girl. But
true.
Which I've
Spoiler.
actually never seen it, but I know the concept.
Well, Exorcist is good, man. The Exorcist is a fucked up movie. Like,
the funny thing about The Exorcist is it drove people to suicide. And not that suicide's funny, but like the irony is like people were so freaked out by it, they were like jumping out windows and shit.
Dude, The Exorcist has such a, like, from what I remember reading, like there is this whole urban legend that like a ton of bad luck happened on the set of The Exorcist as well as afterwards. Like people that worked on the film died of mysterious deaths and shit.
Well, same thing with, I believe, Enter the Dragon and The Crow, if I'm correct, which aren't horror films, but still.
No, but there is that whole life imitating art and art imitating life. Like, to give you another one with what you're saying, did you ever see that Bruce Lee biopic, Dragon?
No. I heard it was good, though. I have not seen it.
It was okay. It for a 1993 biopic, it's good. I think the actor is Jason Scott Lee.
I'd have to look it up.
He did a live action Jungle Book movie like way early 90s and it was good. It was just, he was clearly not like Indian. He's very audibly Chinese, or visually Chinese and audibly Chinese. But he played Bruce Lee. But there's this crazy thing while throughout this biopic, he has like nightmares of a giant sort of old school Chinese demon trying to kill his son, Brandon. Now, this movie came out before Brandon Lee died. So it's really weird. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story or something. But I'm saying like there was this whole sequence where like his son is like is going to be killed in like these nightmares, and Bruce Lee has to like vanquish the demon. It's not real. But then like after like 6 months after the movie came out, The Crow came out, and Brandon Lee died.
Right.
Filming The Crow.
Right.
So that's a weird like, oh shit, if that's coincidence, that's some fucking coincidence. Right?
Yeah, right. And you're right. It is Jason Scott Lee. That's who played Bruce Lee.
No relation to Bruce Lee, though.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't think I would have put that together, and that's not me. I know that sounds worse than I mean it, but
No. He had to tell people like, I'm not related to Bruce Lee. I just am Asian
and happen to have the last name Lee.
Right.
I want to circle back to OC for just a split second because I also we got off on a thing, and that's fine. But the last thing I wanted to mention about, just to close that story down, is that Michael May, the DP on the Orville, is now making a documentary about OC and this art adventure, basically, that he's doing. So it'll be really cool to see how that pans out.
Yeah, dude, one of the more interesting things about this podcast is the people that we have gotten to know. Well, and that we've been sort of, become friendly with. I see other people that I'm not friends with on Twitter tagging OC. Like, OC is well liked.
Oh, very well liked. Yeah, very, very well liked.
And I wrote him a private message. I said, hey man, I'm just happy that because he had a really depressive, couple weeks recently. Yeah. And the whole reason why he pushed these paintings out is because he was just super depressed and was like, the bad thoughts were climbing into his head, and he just said, fuck it, I'm just going to get rid of all my paintings, fuck it. And then people were like, dude, this is awesome. And he said, and now he has a new appreciation of his work and his life. And I wrote to him and I said, hey man, I'm just so happy that you're going through this, that like you're now getting the recognition you deserve. I think it's awesome. And I said, you deserve every like moment of happiness for this. And he said, thank you. I really appreciate that. So.
I I had also sent him a message just saying, hey, congrats on the documentary, and when it's done, we'd love to have you and Michael on to help promote it, like anything we can do to help push that,
Right.
And actually, now that we've been talking about it, if you're in this Southern California area and primarily Los Angeles, and you want a cool painting, follow at Octopus Caveman on Twitter and watch, because he drops clues on where these things are, and go grab one. And if you don't want
one.
And yeah, I was going to say, if you don't want it, grab it anyway, and we'll work out the shipping so that Rico and I can get one, because we fucking want them. So, yeah.
I want to ask if OC did like a Rat Pack like painting, like even if it's fucked up, I want that.
I think he mainly does abstracts. Like, even the ones that have people, I don't think they're like of people. I think they're just creations out of his brain, so. Well,
I mean, if he did a sketch of like the Rat Pack and they were all rats, I'd fucking buy that.
Oh, totally. I'd buy that. It just sounds awesome. And that's not dogging on the Rat Pack. That's just a cool concept that I'd want a picture of. So,
maybe I should do it.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
I should take a stab at fucking painting. Speaking of taking a stab at things.
Oh, what?
Fucking, the Juice is on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
OJ Simpson's now taking a stab at Twitter.
And you know who's stabbing back?
Maddie Granger.
Maddie Granger is not happy about the Juice being on Twitter.
Dude, I'm not happy either, man. Fuck OJ Simpson.
Look, I'm not. Here's the thing that I don't get. With all due respect to you and Maddie, because I love both you guys, and you know I do. But, like, I'm honestly indifferent about it. Like, I just don't give a shit. Like, there's no. He's not harming anybody by having a Twitter account. No. Do I think he deserves a lot of pleasantries in his life? Not really. But I mean, like, what harm? What harm is he doing by having a Twitter account? No less harm than our president, or no more harm than our president.
No, bullshit. Our president does a lot of harm.
That's what I'm saying. No, he's not harming. Okay. He's not doing any more harm than Trump having one. So.
Well, all right. My opinion was I was like you. I was kind of like, all right, whatever. Who gives a fuck? But then, like, seeing Maddie kind of just shred OJ, turn him in a pulp, more so to speak, made me kind of realize, I'm like, you know what? Fuck OJ. Like, you had your chance. You fucking killed 2 people. Like, you don't get to get away with this.
No, he should have really just kind of faded to the background, and
he really should have.
Just disappeared. And then they finally get him on theft, and he fucking gets parole. Like, he got, I want to say it was like a 10 or 15 year jail sentence, and he only served like 5 of it, I think.
Yeah.
So, because
he went to jail just for the wrong fucking crime.
Well, right, and there's people that actually think that he probably didn't do that crime, but they had enough just to put him away so that he kind of finally got what he deserved for the other one. I don't know if that's accurate.
Because they can't serve double jeopardy because he was already acquitted. So, yeah.
The only way there is a way around that, and it's not shady. Like, if new evidence comes to light, then they can retry him. Like,
if they found the knife?
They find a knife, someone comes out and has, like, video footage of it happening. It was, like, hiding all this time because they were afraid or some shit. Like, I don't think that's the case, but if that person came forward and said, here's the video of OJ doing it, then they can retry his ass. But, outside of that, yeah, the likelihood is it'll never happen. But, is that all you want to say about OJ? Because I have other news to talk about.
I mean, that's all I ever want to say about OJ. It's just fuck you, OJ Simpson.
Okay. There you go. God, I remember. I know because you just took me back to my high school years because I was a sophomore in high school when OJ was on trial for that for the murders, and my religion teacher got herself in trouble because in the cafeteria at my high school we had a PA system that was exclusive to the cafeteria. So, like, it didn't broadcast throughout the whole school, but you could get on a microphone and, like, talk and get people's attentions or whatever.
Sure.
And Henry's messaging me as I'm talking, so it's throwing me off because there's some news about Henry I want to talk about. But anyway, he or she, they were announcing that they were going to announce the verdict, and she put a radio in front of the microphone, so it broadcasts over the PA in the cafeteria the verdict as it happened. And apparently she got in trouble for that, but it was really kind of interesting to see how divided the room got when the verdict came out. Now, nothing hostile happened. There was no fighting, nothing like that. But the groups of people that cheered and the groups of the people that were just sitting there stunned were very, very evident and obvious to people that if you're listening, you know what read between the lines. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was 2, obviously, so I always kind of grew up thinking OJ was a killer. Like, there's a whole, like, I flipped the fuck out.
Yeah.
What?
There's a generation
I had no idea that he was an actor. So I was watching The Naked Gun. I'm like, what the fuck is OJ doing in this?
More importantly, he was a football player. That's what
Yeah, he was a football player. He was an actor, but like I never knew all that shit. All I heard was O.J. Simpson was a serial killer. Was a celebrity killer. Is basically what I heard. He was a celebrity who also had to kill people. But my brother Joel told me a story about how he met O.J.
And he lived to tell it.
Yeah, obviously. He was out in like the Midwest doing a business, like he was having a business deal, dinner or lunch or something, or he was on a business trip. I don't remember the context of it, but he was with business partners. And this is about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So OJ was just in the middle of his, or it was at the tail end of his book tour. Remember he wrote If I Did It?
That's when he stole the stuff that he got arrested for. He was on that tour when he did it, I think.
Right. Yeah. So I think Joel just saw him right before he got before he pulled that shit.
Yeah.
So they're at a hotel which had a restaurant. And my brother Joel walks to the bathroom and the elevator opens up nearby. And this guy walks out and my brother Joel looks at him and goes, yeah, he is my Joel. He looks at him and goes, I think I know that guy. And he's taking a piss. He's trying to figure out, how do I know that guy? He's like, oh shit, that's fucking Juice. Goes and he walks back into the dining room with there's a bar and everything. Sees OJ just sitting by himself alone, drinking like a whiskey sour or a Manhattan or some shit. Goes up to his group of business partners. He's like, all right, guys, don't freak out. Don't look. Don't do anything. But I'm 99% positive that OJ Simpson is sitting over there by himself, just chilling. Like he didn't have an entourage or anything. And one of the business partners just says, looks over the Juice, like just does the thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then OJ realized the attention's on him. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? And come on over. And then everyone just mobbed OJ without the torches and shit.
Right. The good kind of mob.
Yeah, not Frankenstein mob. Although time's coming. He's getting that on Twitter, so
see, I haven't really been following it. I've seen Maddie.
Dude, it's not just me and Maddie. Everyone else is saying, fuck you, OJ.
Yeah, it wasn't in the list of his not smartest moves. It's actually towards the bottom, considering the other shit he's done. But
right. Well, there was what's her fucking name? Chelsea Handler. She tweeted. I mean, bear with me. She said, hey, it could be worse. O.J. Simpson could have been hired by Trump to be part of his staff. So all things in perspective.
It's coming. I'm sure
it's coming. He's gonna be the interior of medical malpractice or something or some shit.
Well, the press secretary resigned on Friday, so who knows? So
can you imagine if O.J. Simpson goes up there and we're all like, we know you're a fucking liar.
Well, hey, Linda McMahon was part of his cabinet.
Dude, I made this comment about Sarah Sanders. I said, So I said, wait, the fuck did I say? I said, I'll believe it when she lies.
Okay.
Like if she said she's leaving, I said, I'll believe it if she lies about it.
No, I that's the one thing that I think is the truth that always comes out of that. It is when they say they're leaving, they're gone.
Well, hold on. The punchline, because Joel told me this when we were at the land that one trip, a month or two back.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was, I was trying to like tell my brother, I'm like, I think I base a lot of my comedy on yours, and I've always been trying to make you genuinely laugh, like because my brother is very funny, and so we're talking about this, and for the entire trip, I hadn't really made him laugh. I made him smirk or smile or kind of chuckle, but not like laugh.
Right.
So when he tells me this whole OJ's thing, and he's like, dude, my first thought was, motherfucker, that's the dude from Naked Gun. And I said, it's funny how you thought of it because, if I was staying there in your place and I saw O.J. Simpson come out of an elevator, my first thought was, I'm going to die. And Joel started laughing. He said, all right, there's your one genuine laugh for this trip. And I'm like,
there you go.
That's fucked up.
By the way,
all right. So what?
Did you end up getting to hang out with Alex last week? Because you said you were going to try to hang out with Alex.
Oh, he tried. We were going to try and do something, and then he said, "Oh, I didn't mean tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But the possibility is that I have to text him and ask him. But we may go. Actually, I don't mind saying this on the air, but like, I may have to be unavailable, possibly on the 29th.
Ugh.
But there's a possibility I may be able to come back in time. My dad is prepping and putting his dog down.
Wait, the 29th is a Saturday.
Right. So I will be going up to the land the 29th, maybe. I haven't told Dad or Alex yes or no.
Okay.
But then we'll be coming back the following day.
Oh, well, we can always start late. That's not a big deal.
Okay, well, as long as we're not like scheduled with someone who's got a time, like
Our next big interview is next week, not the
right.
week.
So I'm saying maybe the 29th I might be a little late.
Okay, no big deal.
Cool.
I'm cutting.
So we have to. That's probably when I'll see Alex. My dad will probably. Alex requested I come up.
Well, that's nice. At least they're making efforts to hang out with you, and I think that's a good thing. Well,
Joel's out of town. I'm cat sitting for him.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. They'll be back in a couple days.
I thought it was Michael. You told me the other day you were cat sitting for Michael. I think you just got your people. You said Michael. You did.
Did
you
I?
may not have. Yeah, you may not have meant it, but you said Michael when we were talking.
Did I text
the
it
other
or
day.
say it?
Say it when we were talking.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then when we talked on Friday for a little bit.
Yeah.
You
have to take all this crap out.
Nah, some of it I'll leave in.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, I have good news about one of our friends and bad news about another one of our friends. What do you want first?
Give me the bad news so I can get bed out of shape, and then give me the good news to make me happy.
Okay, so story about Jay. I'm not going to get into all the details because I don't think she'd want that out there. But Jay has a multitude of medical issues that aren't worth getting into, and I'm not going to get into them. But she has a lot she's dealing with. And the only reason why I even bring that up, because I feel like she wouldn't want a lot of that out there, is to tell this story about this shithead that she dealt with on, I think it was like Monday of last week. So and I'll try to do this in the right parlance. She was in queue at the grocery store.
For our American listeners, she was in line.
Yeah, she's in line at the grocery store. I was just trying to have some fun, but yes. And she's unloading her groceries onto the conveyor belt thing that, everyone's gone grocery shopping. You know how that fucking works. So she's unloading her stuff. The guy behind her is not liking the speed at which she's moving and starts ramming her body with his shopping cart to get her to go faster.
Are you serious?
I'm dead fucking serious. And nobody did a goddamn thing about it. So she finally gets through dealing with this, and it went on for a while from what she told me. And then she pays for her groceries and whatever. Now, because of her medical issues, she's been in immense pain for like a week now, to the point that she lost days at work, and it's strictly because of this asshole and he being impatient with the way she was moving. And she wasn't, from what I understand, moving any slower than, say, like you or Stephanie. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I might be moving a little slower because of my disability, but I don't think that it was causing her to move any slower. I think he was just an impatient asshole that probably has a problem with women, you know? So, yeah. So, fuck that guy. Fuck him. Go hang out with OJ. That's what I want that guy to do. Go hang out with OJ.
I'm just going to say this. The world would be a whole lot fucking better if you would just take 2 seconds to not be a selfish fucking prick.
Exactly.
You know, you're all there for one fucking reason, to buy your groceries and get the fuck out. No one wants to be held up. I get that. Everyone has their own, I got to go somewhere. I got to be quicker. You know what? You got to the shopping center at the time you did. You could have gotten there earlier. You could have been a little bit, thought ahead. You could have set your alarm. You could have done some of the shit. It is not the fault of the person in front of you who is just going slow. If she was in a wheelchair, what the fuck was he going to do? Roll her out of there? This guy.
It sounds like it.
This guy's a fucking fuck, dude. And I thought the Aussies are pretty cool. He must have fucking immigrated to Australia, or because, this guy was definitely an American who was sightseeing in Australia.
Right.
Because that is the most American thing ever. I guarantee, I've seen that shit happen, but I have said something. I've seen fucking people come on, hurry up. And it's an old lady in front of them. And they're just going as fast as they can. They're trying to fucking be quick and get their goddamn Metamucil and prune juice and shit. And fucking, it's always a male. A woman will complain about why did you do this wrong? But a man will be the most impatient fucking asshole. Well, all right, look, all of you are fucking awful. All I'm saying is fuck whoever fucking did this to Jay.
Because Jay's an awesome person. She's an awesome, awesome person. We both have spoken to her privately, and she's great people. So
I still missed up the fact that she sent us a goddamn fan letter.
Well, yeah,
but it went above being a fan letter. It was a genuine, heartfelt fucking message. And you know what? Fuck this guy. I for our listeners, if you would be so inclined, is tweet at Jay and give her some fucking love. And
it's JAY6K9. That's how you find her on Twitter.
She deserves all the love. She's going through a rough time. And you know what? There's this Patton Oswalt quote that I always love. It's all chaos. Be kind. And
I like that.
Do that.
I like that.
His wife, who passed away.
Yes.
He would get in these arguments with her and debates of religion and politics. And she's like, honey, no, it's all chaos. Be kind. And that's really the simplest mantra I could ever fucking say is it's all chaos. Be kind.
There you go. I'd almost feel like we should just end the episode on that, but it's way too early.
I think I did end one of the previous episodes before that on that.
I think we had a conversation about the LGBTQ, the letters themselves, and we used Patton Oswalt in that episode, and I think that might be where you said it.
No. I said recently about, I think, Alan or something. I said it's all chaos, be kind.
Oh, I think you did, now that you mention that, yeah. So from that, but I will tell you she's okay. No, from what she tells me, no long-term damage or repercussions from the incident. So, uncomfortable, sore, that kind of stuff, but, no long-term problems. So. Well,
this guy's what that guy did was just a didgeridoo, okay? Fuck this guy.
Fuck that guy, absolutely. So, and well wishes, Jay, we love you. From that news to good news about another one of our friends, Henry. Got an update on chasing Leia, because if you recall when he was on the episode, there was some chaos with an actor and the producer had left the project.
It was all chaos. No one was kind.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. So he told me this week that he actually, the producer, he doesn't have a new producer yet, but there's one that he's negotiating with now, and it looks like it's gonna go forward. But he did replace the actor that left the project, and he got a guy named Harry Mitchell. Now, why Harry Mitchell is important is he is the gentleman played, but we haven't seen it yet, Scott Moser in Shooting Clerks. So he got an actor from Shooting Clerks to come on and join his project. So I think that's very exciting.
That's terrific.
Yeah, very, very excited. And he has told me that regardless of what happens with this producer, filming will resume on July 14th. So
terrific, man.
Yeah. Very happy for Henry. I know this is a real passion project for him, and I want him to get it off. Even if he never gets another thing made, if he gets this movie made, then there you go. Like, hey, I want him to do more, but if he doesn't get the opportunity, let him get his passion project off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see Podfellas, that'd be...
Don't we all?
No. Only you and I want to see that shit.
No, I can think of a few people. I think Henry might want to see it. I could see Jay maybe wanting to see it. Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple people.
No, Steph's like, I fucking live with it. I don't need to see this shit. No, yeah. Steph that would be the one who Steph fucking loves unconditionally.
Right? That'd be the... Oh, shit.
I gotta tell you, speaking of Steph, man, I miss my girlfriend.
Yeah, she's out of town. How you doing, man?
I mean, it sucks, dude. Like, I miss my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, she's not dead, but
right.
She's
thankfully
just gone. Yeah. And I mean, apart from my trip to the land with Joel a month ago or whatever the fuck it was, I haven't been away, or my girlfriend's been around me the whole fucking time ever since we moved in together.
Yeah.
So I'm going through fucking withdrawal, and I'm masturbating like crazy.
I didn't even know that. I don't think the audience did either.
Oh, the audience knows to expect that I will just say anything, but I mean, I'm not I mean, it's a little bit of truth in there. I'm definitely look. Also, the other thing is that this fucking dog Sugar does not want to listen to me.
No, well, yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm masturbating all the time. She's like, fuck that. You're not taking me out for a walk. Well, wash your hands first.
Yeah, right. At least do that. I don't even know where to go from there.
No, there's nowhere to go based on that. But I'm happy Henry is moving forward. Going from masturbating and the dog. Just good luck, Henry.
Speaking of unexpected, by the way, the picture of you with Ron for Father's Day. What the fuck? How old are you in that picture?
That's probably about 10 years ago.
Okay, so 17-year-old Rico.
No, I wasn't 17. There's no way I could have been 17.
Well, that's
I was probably
I
was probably 21 or 22, maybe 23. Yeah. Okay. So 5 years ago, 4 or 5. Wow. No, there's no way, because one of my nephews is 5. So that was at Joel and his wife's wedding in Hawaii.
So 6-7 years ago, probably.
Yeah, something guess. Like that.
Yeah. So 20.
What's wrong with how I fucking look?
No, it's just very drastic from the Rico I know.
I mean, I just okay. Like, I don't know why,
there's more up top and less down the bottom. It's just,
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you mean the bottom meaning the beard?
No,
or are you trying to make
waist.
You're making a fat joke?
No, I'm just stating a fact.
Shut the fuck up, Forrest Gump.
So, wow.
Yeah, you didn't expect that shit, did you?
No, I didn't.
See, I had a fucking joke, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good." I don't want to be I never want to be resort to having to use that joke, because I genuinely don't want to make you feel bad about your disability. No. But you talk about my weight, that's going to come out.
No worries, that was fair. I'm good.
What you don't see in that photo is my other brother. My other brother was standing next to my dad. So it was two sons on the outside and Ron in the middle. Like a weird DiGiorgio sandwich. But I didn't feel like Alex would approve if I put it on Twitter. So I cut my brother out. There's nothing against my brother. I just know he's not the type. He's not really a Twitter, Facebook kind of guy. He doesn't put, I mean, I took a photo of his daughter and he said, "Oh, you take a photo, no problem, for your personal collection. Do not put anything out online." I'm like, "Nope, no problem. Don't even worry."
Yeah. So,
but what you don't see is that Alex and I are both wearing white shirts, holding glasses of white wine, and Dad is in the middle with a red shirt, holding a glass of red wine.
Yeah, you can actually kind of see your brother, like without.
You see his hand. You see his hand on Dad's shoulder.
You see his hand. Actually, I thought that was your hand, honestly. But now that you say that, but
maybe it's mine.
You can see his leg and like part of his shoulder, but that's the extent of what you can see.
I mean, it's really not that difficult to find the actual photo. It's on my Facebook. Like, it's already on the internet, but I figured putting it out there again would be
no, I get it. I
mean, Alex would never know. He doesn't go on Twitter.
Yeah, right. What else did I want to talk about? Well,
how young does Dad look, though? Like, you see that, how young he looks?
Well, I've only seen Dad, like, twice in the year and change that I've known you, so it's
he's got a white beard now, and his hair is a little bit more white and gray than just black.
See, actually, the last time I saw him, he didn't have the beard, so he must have grown that since I've seen him last.
He grows it periodically.
When we tried to do that episode for St. Patrick's Day, that we ultimately did, just didn't include him.
Oh God!
That was a. That's the last time I saw him. So, By the way, I hope you didn't mind the tweet that I put out about it.
Not at all. I mean, I talked to him yesterday. He'll probably call me at some point today. He always forgets I record with you on these days.
Yeah. So does your mom, and she lives with you. So.
Well, I very audibly told Mom, like, "All right, I'm about to go record," and she's like, "All right, have fun." Okay. All right, what were you going to say?
No, well, so I was going to tell people that we were guests finally on a show. And
we were.
And it wasn't our own show that we were guests on.
Woof.
You all right?
Sugar just fucking cut one. Oh, my God. That is not sweet.
There's nothing worse smelling in the world than a dog fart.
Oh, my God. Sugar. Your name is now Sweet and Low. God.
Sorry to the Afterburn podcast, because that didn't go very well.
I just got the Afterburn.
Yeah, you did.
I'm going to turn the fan on. Keep talking. I'll be right back. Holy shit. You suck, dog. Oh, fuck.
So as I was starting to say, we were guests on a podcast that wasn't ours for once. Because, the old joke that I'm a guest on this show.
Keep it up, buddy.
Hey, I'm in a weird mood today. Anyway, we were guests on the Afterburn 739 podcast. We alluded to that when we had our bonus episode with Midnight Smoke, who was gracious enough to join us and talk to about the PodAskew hockey tournament that
That's right.
the Golgothans were in. By the way, not to get too sidetracked, I spoke with Logo Mike the other day and told him that there's a sticker on the boards at a hockey rink in Toronto, and he was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he's like, "That's pretty awesome." So, dude,
the stickers at one of the stickers is at Joel's Restaurants.
Yeah,
like it's in Berkeley, it's in Canada. They're on Australia, as far as I remember correctly.
No, I don't. There's any stickers down there. There's
we didn't send any to Jay.
No. She didn't want to give out her address.
That's right. Well, we sent some to Maddie, so there's some in Vancouver.
Oh, did you finally send it to Maddie? I was asking about that.
I think Steph did. Said she sent. I thought she sent them all when she sent them to Smoke.
Oh, she might have. I don't know. I know April's got. I know we're in Australia in T-shirt form though, because I know she bought a T-shirt. So, I don't think she's planning to post that, but that's
she
that's
could
her
post it
prerogative.
without posting herself. She could just post the shirt.
Yeah. So we'll let our listeners know that when you order a t-shirt, we pick a default color that we thought was the best one to get, but you have other color choices you can do when you order a shirt. So April got it in purple, and Jay got it in pink. So I'm curious to see what we look like on a hot pink. And I think she said it was hot pink, so it's not like a bright pink. It's like a fucking 80s pink. So
that's still pretty hot. That's still pretty bright, man.
Right, but there's the lighter pink, and then there's like that almost reddish pink. That's what a hot pink is. At least when I think hot pink, that's what I think hot pink. So
okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so back to Afterburn. So Smoke went out to Ohio to hang out with Fez and Afterburn Kitty, I think her name is. I'm looking it up now. And several other people. There was a lot of fucking people on that podcast that night. Now,
true.
I will share that Rico, here we go, Kitty, Afterburn, 739, Fez, and several other people. I'm working on getting the rest of the names because we got tagged by Smoke and a bunch of stuff. But he, so we got on the show. It was, I can't wait for you people to hear it because I can't wait to hear it because I couldn't understand half of what I heard because there were so many people trying to talk.
Dude, I can't wait to hear it because I was only on for like the last 20 minutes. I was working and I rushed home trying to like get on. And even though they like kind of recorded later than they normally do, I guess, I still managed to get on for like the last 20 minutes and then it fizzled out. And all I did was just kind of come on and not know what the fuck was going on, crack a couple jokes, and they're like, all right, that's it, I'm like, okay.
But I have to thank you, by the way, because I got on the show longer than you did, and did my best to give to love to the show and represent PodAskew, but I learned a very invaluable lesson about our dynamic on that recording. And okay. It is that unless there's a designated topic for discussion, I can't do this without you. Because, no, for real, and Logo Mike and I were talking about this yesterday when we talked. You have a voice that, and I mean this as positively as I can say it, can force its way through the chaos that was that recording. And I say that with all respect to everybody from Afterburn, because it wasn't like stupid. It was funny. It was entertaining. I laughed pretty heartily throughout the thing. But it was hard to wedge your way into the conversation, especially because everybody else except for you and I were in the room. So right. Nobody could see when especially me was trying to talk, unless Fez, I think it was Fez who was running the Skype, like put his hand up and said, hey, and like pointed to the screen so that I could say something. Whereas everyone else, and this is why you and I do this with a video feed, even though we don't broadcast the video portion, so that if you want to say something, you can kind of see when I'm going to pause and vice versa. And so that made that difficult. But when you came in, you like forced your way into some of the conversation in a good way, but enough that it allowed me to go back into our dynamic of me feeding off of whatever you had to say.
Right. I kind of went into it knowing, like, look, I kind of felt like they wanted my opinion. They wanted to hear me talk. Yeah. And for me to go in there, not be able to talk, I was like, look, no, all due respect, guys, but I'm here for a fucking reason. So I did kind of like Moses that shit and part their fucking Red Sea of jargon and kind of wedge my way through and just sort of like, I mean, by the way, guys, like I never try to come off as rude. So there's this joke between CJ and I where like, because I sound kind of aggressive and my tone of voice is kind of like, ugh. There are times where CJ and I, like CJ thinks like we have a problem. And so he'll hit me up. He's like, are we good? And I'm like, dude, I have resting bitch voice. That's all I have.
Right.
And I know that better than anybody because I people are like, wow, Rico, are you okay? Like, are you in a bad mood? I'm like, no, I'm fine.
You do, when you're not doing this, you do come across as irritated more than you probably are.
I mean, there is a part of me that like knows that and kind of like, you know what, fuck it. People are going to think I'm irritated. Why not actually pretend? Why not be a little irritated? Because they're already going to assume that.
Well, that's a good way to live. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, people are going to expect something from me. Like, and it's hard to do in retail because like I have customers that'll come in and I can fuck with my customers that I know very well. Like I'll have a customer come in and I'll be like, ah, shit, what are you doing here? You know, I don't do it with these children around. I don't do it with these little old ladies and shit. But like, you know, I could ball bust some of my customers, and it was, and they know that I'm genuinely nice to them, and they're genuinely nice to me. I mean, I've opened up about my personal life when I've gone through some bad breakups and had to go to work the next day, and I'd still be like holding back tears because I'm like, I'm broken. World doesn't like me. And they're like, Rico, are you okay? And I'm like, well, I just got dumped. And they're like, oh my God, let me give you a hug. And I have really good rapport with my customers. So, what I'm trying to say is, if I came off like an asshole on that podcast on the Afterburn, I really genuinely want you guys to know, it's just my resting bitch voice.
I don't think you did. And I talked with Smoke, and he loved it. So I trust his judgment.
Smoke had already been on the show with us, and Smoke has also listened to every episode, so he knows that I'm not. You know, the other guys, as far as I know, hadn't really listened to us that much.
Not that much. Not as much as Smoke. No, but so I should mention that because you weren't. I think I mentioned to you when you came on, but this came up before you joined us. I asked them if they had gotten a chance to listen to the show, and I referenced the fact that Smoke had, because I knew that, but I didn't know about everybody else. And, and apparently the only one they mentioned was Stefescu Strikes Out, the sports episode that we did. And and we even said in that recording, this is not our best episode. And before I could even say it, they said it. They were like, you mentioned in the recording it wasn't your best episode, and we agree. So,
yeah, it was unanimous. They're like, I mean, and you know what? I take total blame for that. If I'm really being honest, like...
Well, before you get into it, I shared the story. I shared that we'd had like this long like meeting that we don't normally do, and or that we've stopped doing before the episodes because it puts you in a shit mood.
See, that's the difference. You can hear the tone of my voice drop, and I'm really irritated. I'm really upset, and I'm really just grumpy. You could very audibly, if you want to hear what really Rico sounds like, that is a great example. Just listen to that episode, and through the course of, what is it, an hour and a half or something, you just hear me.
No, it's 2 hours. It's over 2 hours. Yeah.
Well, that's sort of going with my point. For the course of 2 hours, you just hear me give less of a fuck than normal, where it's just like, oh yeah, I saw this movie, and then like hour one, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, fine, baseball. And then by the second hour, it's like, fuck you guys, fuck your show, pieces of shit.
Yeah, to your credit, you didn't do that, though, which, I mean, you might have felt that way, but you didn't do it.
I sure as shit thought that fucking thing, dude. I was so like, fuck this, guys. What we have, fuck it. Put it out.
Yeah. It's not our best effort. But anyway.
Oh, no, it's definitely our worst episode.
What's that?
It's definitely our worst episode. I do not have fond memories of that. I have no fond memories of that episode.
I would argue the last quarter to half of the New Year's Eve episode is equally as bad.
That may be your least favorite, but my least favorite is, for the record, this is, even though it's a Steph Askew type of episode,
it really
nothing
wasn't
against Steph. But it's titled Steph Askew Strikes Out or whatever.
What's because we recommended on the episode, everybody seemed to, well, not just that, but like we actually came up with the title during the recording, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that works." And I was like, "All right, fuck it, we'll use it."
Because it was a total strikeout. Because this episode sucks.
Yeah, right there you go. It's a double
like if it was if we could have finagled it, it would have been just something like PodAskew foul ball. Like it was basically the same fucking thing. Right. Gutter, you know, it was DiGiorgio dugout. That's what that fuck it was.
Oh God, it was not
good.
No. But you know, so to everyone that suffered through it, thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thank you for having me on. I wish I could have done more.
I meant the sports episode, but yes, thanks to Afterburn and Fez and Kitty Afterburn and Matt and fucking cousin Leroy. I learned more about what you can get for blowing somebody on that episode than I've learned about anything in my life.
I mean, you could probably get a lot from blowing somebody.
Yeah, well, and that was his go-to. You can get X for giving a blowjob. Okay.
Oh yeah, you can get impeachment from a blowjob.
Yes, you can. The other
will someone blow our president so we could fucking impeach his ass?
Speaking of blowing, something did blow my mind, and I think yours too. From that recording, Billy D. Williams' real name is William D. Williams. That was like mind blow.
Yeah, that's a weird one,
right?
That's a really weird one. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like finding out C-3PO's leg is silver and not gold.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy, and
it's a weird Mandela effect.
What I can share with the Afterburn crew and the rest of the people listening is I could see your face when he said it, and the genuine look of holy fuck that was on your face when that came through was like pretty fun. So
it was because that's something you never think about. It's kind of like it's like finding out Eddie Murphy's name is Edward.
Well, it is. So
that's what I'm saying, though. Like Edward Murphy, you're like that,
right?
what,
but it's not the same. I mean, I get the point you're making, but it's not exactly the same because William D. Williams is a lot. It's like there's like a
it mirrors itself.
It's a weird thing. But like Edward Murphy, while weird sounding, doesn't have that same like mind blowing.
Did you ever see? You saw the Renaissance Man, right?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. Yeah.
Remember, there's a guy, the guy who sleeps all the time in the troupe.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know his name, but I know he's a character I've seen in a bunch of things. Yeah.
His name is His name is like Private Melvin or something.
Oh, it's
and then
Melvin.
He finds
Melvin,
out his name is Melvin.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah.
He's always narcoleptic.
Is that? No, I don't think he's narcoleptic. I think it's just how he deals with depression. But
Oh, you went deep. You went more psychological. I just thought he was narcoleptic.
Because remember, he gets that letter from home, and it talks about his dad.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and then he kind of goes and lays down again. So I think that's his way of escaping.
But that's the only time he lays down. He's still awake.
Yeah, but I think that's the only reason why I don't see him go to sleep because he gets the camera like the scene changes. But I think
it goes to Marky Mark. Yeah.
What?
No.
That was his first movie. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Is it me or is that an underrated movie?
Dude, it's one of my recommendations at work. I put my name. I put a Post-it with my name on it. It's on my shelf. Rico's recommendations.
I fucking love that movie. It is such a good movie. It's just fun. It's a fun movie.
You know what I saw last night? Did you have anything more you want to say based on what we were just talking about?
Oh, about it. Well, just thanks again to Afterburn 739. It was really a lot of fun. Thank you for having us on. We have to have those guys on the show at some point. I think we have to reciprocate that and bring them on.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think we should do it one at a time.
Yeah, well, so just to fix that a little bit, I think the normal Afterburn 739 is a 3-person show. So it's not normally like that much chaos. That was a planned event that they did, and that's why there was that much chaos on that particular episode, I think.
Right.
The other thing that they do, and I'm sure I'm fucking up the name, guys, so my apologies up front, but it's I think it's Play for the Cure or something, but they do like a 16-hour long podcasting marathon, and it raises money for cancer research, and they do it like once a year. And
shit, we did 6 hours or something for the Oscars.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So, I mean, the point is that though they do, and with that one though, it's a rotating crew. So like Fez might go take a nap or whatever, and someone else will jump into his seat, and they just keep going. They're out of Ohio, man. I'm really gonna see what I can do about like going out there for that one next year and being a part of that. I'm gonna really kind of make it an effort to try to do it.
I said all I could possibly say about Ohio last episode.
I know, but I still want to try to get out there and because I support the cause, and I know you do too. I mean, you're making a joke, but I know you support that cause. So I'm gonna try to get out there for that. Which also reminds me, we'll talk about this off air, but I'm probably gonna be out your way next summer, so we need to try to.
Oh no, shit.
Not completely, but I'll be probably in Vegas. So we'll have to try to coordinate and see if you guys can get down there, because I would love. I know Chris is gonna come. So we'll have to see if we can get you to come down too.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah. Oh, you had to go there.
All over the faces and aces.
Yeah, all over the faces and aces. Anyway, you were about to say something that I felt was more
PG.
Yeah.
I saw Knocked Up for like the first time in like maybe 8 years or something.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never seen Knocked Up?
I'm trying
with
to
Seth
remember.
Rogen?
I know the movie. I'm familiar with it, but I'm trying to remember I've seen it.
Dude, it was the point where like I know more or less the jokes, but it's been so long since I saw it. It was kind of like my second or third time seeing it, even though I've seen it a ton of times.
Right.
It was just that large gap where I'm like, oh fuck, I do remember all these, but like, oh, that was still refreshing. Like I still found myself laughing.
Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's funny. It's just a funny fucking movie.
I don't know that we've ever talked about this, and if we have, then we're going to repeat ourselves. But I don't enjoy that style of comedy very often. Do you know what I mean? Like
improvisational?
Well, it's not about the improv so much as like
buddies hanging out, making jokes.
But you can't say that because I don't know. But like, hold on, because you're distracting me. That's a Fairley Brothers. No, that's an Apatow movie, isn't it? Right? Yeah. Okay. So, like the Apatows, the Farley Brothers, like those movies don't resonate with me for some reason. Like did I enjoy The Hangover? Yes, but I didn't find it to be as hysterical as everybody else did. You know what I mean?
Well, you're mixing like the Fairley Brothers or Apatow did not do.
But they're all that same style. Like the comedies I enjoy and I know it's going to sound like we're just self-promoting, I guess, but like Kev's stuff is the kind of comedy I enjoy more.
So by that logic, do you think you don't like Zack and Miri as much because it's more of Kevin doing a Judd Apatow movie?
It's probably one of my least favorite of his movies. Yeah, it's not like the one I list like the most, but if it's closer to the bottom, you know. And that also separates out the horrors versus the comedies, you know, like because for me, my least favorite Kevin movie is Tusk. It flat out is Tusk. Because I don't count Cop Out as a Kevin Smith movie. I know he directed it, but I don't count that as a Kevin Smith movie. So
sure,
if we're including Cop Out, then Cop Out's probably my least favorite. But if we're not including that, then Tusk is probably my least favorite. You know, but if you separate out the Tusk and the Red State and the Yoga Hosers from everything else, it's probably Zack and Miri.
Okay. I mean, I can understand. I mean, the reason why I brought up Knocked Up is because there's a part where Seth and his buddies, and all of his buddies are basically playing pseudo variations of themselves. They're like Jonah Hill's in it, and his name is Jonah.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of, and I'll let you finish your point, but it's kind of like that End of the World movie that they did. I watched that. I forget what it's called.
This is the end.
And I didn't really find it funny at all. Like, I laughed a couple times, but for the most part, I was like, meh.
There's a part where Seth, Jonah Hill, Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Martin Starr, who... Did you ever watch the show Freaks and Geeks?
No, but I'm familiar with its existence.
You would recognize Martin Starr. Martin Starr plays like the teacher to Peter Parker in the Homecoming series.
He's a teacher?
Like he's the one he takes them on like the bus and shit.
Oh, I know. You know where I know him from? Silicon Valley. He's on Silicon Valley. He's Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle is his name,
So
I think.
that dude is also in this. Plus Jay Baruchel.
I know the name, but I can't picture
Skinny
it.
Canadian dude from Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I didn't see it.
Skinny. Oh, he's from your favorite movie, $1 Million Baby.
No, I did. Oh, well, that was the one I didn't like. You're right. I keep getting that $1 Million Man confused.
No.
I see. I pulled him up on IMDb. I do recognize him. I think he is in something. He was in Goon. I kind of like that. That wasn't bad.
He was in Goon. So basically, they're all at a club, right?
Right.
And they're having a topic that just sort of reminded me. A lot of how they talk to each other is a lot of how reminds me of a lot of how you and I talk to each other.
Wait, real quick. Are you talking about Knocked Up or this?
Knocked Up.
Okay, go ahead.
So they're at a nightclub and they're saying, and Seth Rogen is the only guy whose name is not his own.
Okay.
So everyone's like, "Oh, Jay and and blah," but he's known as Ben.
I know where I know Jay from. I know him from Fanboys.
That's right. He's in Fanboys.
Yeah.
So Seth is like, if we're ever gonna get laid, it's gonna be because I saw the movie Munich. He's like, in all the movies, Jews are getting killed. Munich flips it on its fucking ass, and we're capping motherfuckers. And it just reminds me of how you and I talk to each other. Just basically all what they're doing is just they're doing a podcast without a fucking microphone.
Right. And yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I was going to move on to another point, but I would let you finish first. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Knocked Up was one of Judd Apatow's better movies. Like 40-Year-Old Virgin is really fucking funny, but it's not. I've seen it so much, it's not funny anymore. And also the ending where they're doing fucking Age of Aquarius is so bizarre and random to me. It doesn't fit with the movie itself. But Knocked Up, I thought was entertaining. And
first off, going back to Jay Baruchel for a second, where I actually first saw him ever was Almost Famous.
Who is he in all? Oh, he's the fucking kid's friend or something?
He's the Led Zeppelin follower. He's the one running around with the Led Zeppelin t-shirt. That's him.
Oh, well, I've only seen Almost Famous once, so.
I fucking love that movie. You want to talk about one of my favorites.
I bought a copy recently, actually. It's funny you say that.
It's so good. So that takes care of that. My comedy, it's funny because I say I don't like those movies. And first off, I also want to point out, this is not a indication of my thoughts of Judd Apatow's ability, because I've heard him interviewed, I've seen him do things, and he's a funny dude. So it's not that I don't think he's funny. The style of movie just doesn't. But at the same time, I love Van Wilder. Van Wilder is a movie that I absolutely love. I think it's hysterical. Yeah. I liked Funny People. The one with Sandler.
Which he did, yeah.
Oh, he did that one. Okay. And I know he didn't do Van Wilder, but I'm just giving you styles of comedy that I actually do enjoy, because I'm looking at my...
He's only directed a handful of films. He did 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up.
He did This Is 40, didn't he?
This Is 40 is a pseudo sequel to Knocked Up.
Right.
The characters that Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann are playing are originally from Knocked Up.
Okay, yeah, I thought that Deb and I were kind of watching that earlier, but I was just kind of falling asleep on the couch. Not because of the movie, but I was tired.
And then he also did, he's produced and written other movies. Like he produced Superbad.
Oh, right.
He did Dewey Cox.
Okay.
He produced that, and he wrote part of it. But there's some good heartfelt moments in Knocked Up. There's a part, because the premise is Catherine Heigl and Seth.
Yeah, they have sex and she gets pregnant unplanned.
It's a one night stand.
Right.
They're both drunk. He's trying to put the condom on, and she's like losing her female wood, and she's like, "Just do it already." Right. And he interprets that as the literal form of, "Okay, let's just fuck." He's like, "Okay," and like they have sex, and then like 8 weeks later, she fucking like says, "I'm pregnant," and there's some genuine laugh out loud moments where she's like, "So I have something to tell you. I'm pregnant," and he says, "Fuck off," and she's like, "What?" He's like, "What did you say?" He's like, "I'm pregnant." Like, with emotion. Like, there's some genuine funny moments, and there's Harold Ramis before he passed away plays Seth Rogen's dad, and you see it like, dude, he looks like he could be his fucking father.
Right.
So, and the movie's great. The movie does a lot of improvisational scenes, particularly of Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, and Jay Baruchel, and all that shit. But there's some really fucking funny material on the DVD commentary. After I watched the movie last night, I just played the commentary, and I'm like, motherfucker, this is exactly what CJ and I do. We are just riffing and talking about shit, and it was Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow, and Bill Hader.
Okay.
And I'm a massive Bill Hader fan. You know that. I love his SNL impressions.
Yeah.
And whenever they're like, "Oh, look who just walked through the door," it's Al Pacino. It's like, "Oh, yeah, who are you all doing out here?" Like, it's just Bill Hader doing his Al Pacino. It's like, "Oh, well, Al Pacino walked out, but look who walked in. It's Vincent Price." And like, you would do it's Vincent Price, like, "Good evening, everybody." Like,
right.
And I was just cracking up more of the commentary than the movie itself. The movie is still fucking funny, but that's what I'm saying. It just hit home for me. I'm like, fuck, I really want to do the podcast. I'm so excited to record tomorrow because like I want to do this. Well, and the last couple episodes have been fucking depressing.
Well, and it's funny because we talked for a few minutes after we got done with Afterburn, and you were like, "Dude, let's record." And it was like 12:30 at night for me, and I'm like, "Fuck no!"
Yeah, man, like I said, dude,
you've been jonesing for like days now.
Yeah. I was ready. Normally, CJ's like, "All right, are you ready to record?" I'm like, "Oh, shit, I forgot." Or, "Oh, I'm overslept, and I got to, hold on, let me finish my cigarette." And then it's like, you start recording about 25 minutes after that. But I was like, "Dude, I'm ready. You ready? Let's do it early." You're like, "Holy shit."
Yeah. It did throw me a little bit. I was actually sitting here playing Assassin's Creed.
Which one? First one?
2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Going Ezio.
I got the Ezio collection on PS4 remastered. They remastered and put it on the PS4, so I grabbed that because I got it like super fucking cheap. So I got all three games for $12.99.
I think I paid that on disc on PS3 about 5 years ago or something.
For the Ezio collection?
Yeah.
Yeah, well they remastered it and dropped it on the 4, so I grabbed that.
Dude, I'm on my next Lego game, and I'm actually pissed off about it.
The Hobbit one.
Yeah.
Well, wait, I want to go back to comedies, and then we can move on to that because there's some game stuff I'd like to talk about too. But, because I'm a little concerned about myself, honestly. Like, I'm looking at my list of comedies here, and like, I'm gonna ask you to be Dr. Rico for a minute here because I need like psychological evaluation, I think. Like, I'm looking at this list. I can
Dr.
see...
DiGiorgio, double D?
Yeah, double D. You've got double Ds. In
your fucking face. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, buddy. I couldn't help myself. I'm looking at the list of my comedies, and, like, I feel like I'm contradicting myself with what I said. So, we're gonna leave Kevin's movies out of it for a minute because those are just assumed, right? That those are the ones I've got. Those, yeah,
right.
But beyond that, I've got My Cousin Vinny, Accepted, Bill and Ted, both of them, Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey, Road Trip, Van Wilder, Weekend at Bernie's, Big, and that's it. Like, those are the comedies that I actually like, that I want to watch on right now. My rule is I only own movies I want to watch on a regular basis. So,
sure.
No, because I know people that when I worked in retail in the Sam Goody, because we sold movies too, there were guys I knew would be there every Tuesday to just go across the new release thing and get a copy of everything that came out.
Whether they saw it or not, they were like, I'm going to watch it now. I'm a collector. Right. I'm sort of in the middle of you two. Like, I'm like, oh man, I don't have this.
Right.
I will take this. But if it's like, I don't need to have every fucking movie. But like, if we get donations at work, I sort of get first pick to say we should take this, we should keep this,
right?
We should replace the old disc with the new disc, and then a lot of it I just take home. I'm like, well, fuck, it was free. We don't need this at work. I'll take it.
I can tell you now because the company is basically defunct. FYE's return policy was you take it. Yeah. Like if someone came with a return, you took it. There was no no. The only difference was whether you got cash or store credit. You know, that was basically if you had a receipt, you got your money. If you didn't have a receipt, then you got store credit. Or you could go pick something else out right then and there that we would just kind of do an exchange. But a lot of this stuff, even if it wasn't broken, we would take.
Right.
I got an iPod out of that because we were supposed to destroy it. And we were all like, no.
I'm waiting for someone to be my new friend that works at a GameStop that I can get a fucking PS4 for nothing.
Well, that probably won't happen because they got a lot of rules. I know a lot of people to work for GameStop, and there's too many rules to let that happen. But, yeah, dude, I'm looking at these comedies. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's something wrong with me.
Maybe you look. Can I say this without coming off mean?
Yeah.
Maybe this is why I'm the funny one.
Oh, you're totally the funny one. There's no doubt about that.
But and you are funny, but maybe you should watch maybe you should expand on comedy.
Well, see, my sense of humor is very different than yours, as you were in different people, so of course. But my sense of humor is, I always think of myself as a house with the way I deliver my comedy. You know what I mean? I'm not a genius. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but the way that I deliver, he does that snarky,
very dry, quippy, snarky, like Sherlock Holmes, but drier.
Right, but you're more of that boisterous Seth Rogen, John C. Reilly, those guys that I know you really like. You know what I mean? You bring it more like that than
I would argue that if I could label my sense of humor, that I'm sort of like Chandler from Friends.
Yeah. I can say that.
Mixed with a not smoking Seth Rogen. Meaning not smoking pot, Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I could see that. That's actually pretty accurate. Yeah.
Because I can be very serious and I can be very
sure.
Whoa, let's talk about this. That's not okay. Yeah. When you told me about Jay, you could see I was grinding my teeth.
Yeah, you were mad.
I was mad. I was fucking mad. No one fucks with my fans and friends like that. So, but I also am the type of guy, if Steph and I have an argument, I will always try to diffuse the situation by being the pithy fucking, character of just the Chandler. And I know Steph loves me and finds it funny, but I could also see deep down, she's like, motherfucker, it's not a joke. Stop it. But she's just like, you think you're fucking funny. You're not Ray Romano. This is not Everybody Loves Raymond.
I fucking hate that
show.
No! I don't like that show. Little peek behind the home life of me and Deb. Every night when we go to bed, generally she falls asleep before me so then I can change the channel. But we start on TV Land, Nickelodeon's late night thing, and it's a run of Everybody Loves Raymond into King of Queens, and then depending on how late she stays up, the Goldbergs, and that's
another one. I would probably argue I'm similar to Kevin James's character on King of Queens.
Now, see, King of Queens, I can at least kind of stomach.
King of Queens it's a spin-off of Everybody Loves Raymond.
I think it's the other way around, actually.
King of Queens is a spin-off of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay, because I know Ray's been on King of Queens. I've never seen Kev on
early episodes of Raymond. Kevin James is on it.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying I've never seen it. Anyway,
And by the way, we mean Kevin James, not like the Kevin James
Smith,
that people confuse Kevin Smith for. Yeah.
Yeah. But we want now see King of Queens. I can at least kind of get through. Like, I don't mind King of Queens. The only thing I don't like about King of Queens is Arthur. I fucking hate Arthur. And so does Deb. Deb doesn't like him either. But she will defend it in saying that that's the point of the character. The point of the character is for you to get irritated and like want to punch him in the face.
Exactly. If you don't have Arthur, then there's no problem with then it's just Doug is fat.
Oh no, Doug does enough stupid shit that.
But I mean, look, you don't watch It's Always Sunny either.
No, and I have watched a couple episodes because Preston and Steve, the morning radio show that I've mentioned to you out here, have made appearances on the show, and not just audibly, like actually been on camera, and so I've watched those episodes to see that see those guys. But
well, what I was saying is the first season, Dan DeVito's not in the show, and the show's still funny, but once Dan DeVito shows up in the second season, you're like, oh my God, it is so much funnier. Like, how the fuck their first season's great, but you're now going back to it, you're like, man, there's something really fucking missing. And I think Jerry Stiller's character, Arthur, adds an element of extra comedy. I was never a Jerry Stiller and Mira, I want to say her name is, fan, and his wife.
From Friends? Because I know he's on Friends too. Isn't he Costanza?
He was on Seinfeld.
Oh, Seinfeld. Yeah, I'm sorry, Seinfeld. That's what I meant. I said Friends, but I meant Seinfeld.
So Ben Stiller's parents were an actual comedy team in like the 70s.
Right, Jerry. Okay, yeah.
Stiller and Mira.
Because she's Ray's mom on Everybody Loves Raymond, isn't she? Isn't that Jerry's wife?
That's Doris Roberts.
I thought they were married to each other.
No. Doris Roberts in Peter Boyle from Young Frankenstein.
They were actually married? Because I know they're the parents on the show. No, I'm trying to figure out who she's married to. Fuck the TV. I'm talking about real life. I thought she was married. I thought Doris Roberts was married to Jerry Stiller. Am I not right? Okay.
No. By the way, have you seen Grandma's Boy?
No.
See, when we're talking about comedy movies, I am very aware that I like stoner comedies, and I'm not a stoner.
Well,
you know what I mean?
To a degree, I do. If you count Kevin's movies.
Yeah, Kevin, and even I could even argue that you probably
Van Wilder is close to a stoner comedy
without any form of smoking pot. I don't think.
No, that's not true.
There's one character, the black roommate or whatever
Tech.
Is like.
Yeah. I don't know. His real name is Tech. I can't remember the character's name. His real name is Tech.
Yeah, I just saw a movie recently to show Steph because I'm like, oh, you love Ryan Reynolds? You haven't seen Ryan Reynolds like how we all loved Ryan Reynolds in 2001.
Van Wilder?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why when they announced Deadpool, I was like, okay, because I knew what he was capable of from Van Wilder, and I just assumed he would have carried that over into Deadpool, and he did.
More or less. We also got a glimpse of that in X-Men Origins.
Yeah. But you got to bet, and because there's another movie he's in. I was gonna say 13 going on 30, but that's not it.
No, it's Buffalo.
There's one that he's in where he's talking to his daughter. The parents are divorced, and he's talking to his daughter about his dating life prior to.
Actually, maybe. No, definitely, maybe.
Definitely, yeah, and he's a little more serious. He's still quippy, but he's more serious in that than he is in, say, like a Van Wilder or even Blade Trinity, because even Blade Trinity is basically Van Wilder as a vampire.
Or it's Deadpool as a vampire hunter.
Or Deadpool, yeah, right. So,
oh my God, dude, you're bringing me back to Blade. I fucking love the Blade movies.
They're good. They're really. We probably should do a Blade episode.
Jessica Biel's in the news right now. Did you hear what she's fucking doing?
No.
She is
Did she finally divorce Timberlake? Oh, was she an
She's an anti-vaxxer.
Okay.
And I'm like, didn't you watch the fucking Blade Trinity movie that you were in? Isn't it good to actually drug your kids? Like, fuck, dude. Serum saves humanity, and you're like, no.
So, even when it comes to TV comedy, like I'm more into stuff like How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, Roseanne.
You like situational sitcoms.
But I hated Friends, hated Seinfeld. Not a fan.
I didn't like Seinfeld.
I'm not a fan of these, the ones we were just talking about, King of Queens, or Everybody Loves Raymond. Even the Goldbergs. Like, you would think I'd love it because it's based out of Philly, but nah.
All right, let me run you some blanks or blanks, and you tell me who you prefer. Okay.
Okay.
Mel Brooks, Woody Allen.
Oh, Mel Brooks.
Okay. All right. So far, so good. Charlie Chaplin, Jim Carrey.
Okay, I'd have to go Carrey only because I'm not overly versed in Charlie Chaplin's material. I know who he is. I know the most iconic one everyone's ever seen. But as far as you probably know his library much better than I do. So I have to go Jim Carrey.
Most likely.
Yeah, I have to go with Jim Carrey based solely on the fact that I don't really have enough to compare.
To be fair, it is a random fucking pairing. Okay, I'll give you this one: Mike Myers, Chris Farley.
Oh, am I allowed to say tie? Because
nope. They're very different types of humor. That's why I'm going with.
Right, but I'm not overly a fan of either of them. To be honest with you, I like the first Austin Powers.
That's if you're saying a tie as in neither, that's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm saying tie, because I like a couple of Chris's movies, I like a couple of Mike's movies, but overall I'm not a huge fan.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull up
real
some
quick.
On my ass.
If I had to lean a direction on that one, I would probably lean Mike Myers.
I had a feeling you were. Yeah. I'm already kind of figuring out your sense of style and humor more than you're really understanding. Let me see if I can run a couple more. I'm just thinking of comedians.
Just to have some fun with this. This feels like one of those clickbait Facebook tests. Click here to find out who your soul comedian is, or what your soul animal is. That kind of
the answer is you're just an idiot. That's the answer.
Thanks, buddy.
No. In all seriousness, let's see. So, what my consensus is that I think you.
Well, I'm having fun. Give me another one. God damn it. Or do you not have any more? If you don't have any more, that's fine.
Well, I'm trying to think of comedians that are sort of I'm not going to give you Lou Costello and fucking. Yeah. You sort of say I gotta think about this. Okay. Trying to think of who the fuck was popular in the 80s. Okay. Here we go. Chevy Chase, Martin Short.
We're close to a tie there again, but I would go Martin Short. Yeah.
Okay.
Martin Short.
Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Bill Murray. Without question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my consensus is you tend to gravitate to comedians that have a darker and kind of unlikable quality of them.
An unlikable quality?
Think about it. You're going for the really kind of drier people, like you said, like House. Right. You're going for the people that are like Chris Farley and Charlie Chaplin and all the other ones that you didn't pick. They are very much explosive on screen. They're the kind of guys that I like. They are the ones that are running through walls. They're the ones that are doing
some of that I find really funny. It just depends on the material. For example, and you probably have seen this, I hope, but the Van Down by the River sketch by Chris Farley. Yeah. I love that sketch, and that's very much about throwing himself onto the table and being loud and boisterous, but I think that's hysterical. You know what I mean?
Lottie freaking
right, yeah, I do. That's what I'm saying. I think part of it also comes down to the movie. I love Big Daddy. And I like that movie a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't own that. That's not one I own, but there's no reason I don't own it except that I just don't. But I do enjoy that movie. But I don't enjoy Happy Gilmore as much as everybody else does. I don't say I don't like it. But
look at the character that he's playing compared to Happy Gilmore.
Right.
In Big Daddy, he is Adam Sandler, but he's not the most Adam Sandler.
Right.
He's kind of reserved. He's he's a snarky guy. Whereas in Happy Gilmore, he's screaming on the fucking golf field, like, go back to your hole! Like,
right. And yes, of those style that he did, like that one, Billy Madison, there's another one in that grouping that I can't think of, but of that, what's that?
Waterboy?
No, because Waterboy I liked. I did. I like the Waterboy. I like Little Nicky. I like, I do like, I do. What's that? No, Mr. Deeds. Yeah, I like Mr. Deeds. I do like Happy Gilmore, but I hate Billy Madison. Like, don't like Billy Madison. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I had appreciation for it when I was a kid. I mean, it's definitely rough.
Yeah,
but
I don't. I'm trying to think of other and going to Mike Myers because that was one of the ones you made me pick from. Well, let me start with Chris Farley. Actually, like I like Tommy Boy, but there's that ninja one he did that's terrible.
Well, I love Beverly Hills Ninja because I saw that when I was a kid, and I just thought it was Chris Farley to me was just the '90s Lou Costello, and I love Abbott and Costello.
I've actually heard him
as a kid.
I've actually heard him referred to as a '90s Belushi, but I guess that's probably true too.
Well, a '90s Belushi, but Belushi in its own way was a '80s, '70s, '80s version of Lou Costello. Like,
and that's a good segue because let me, and I may have told this story before, but we're going to tell it again real quick because it's not long. But when I worked at Sam Goody, I got to be really good friends with the store manager that I worked for to the point that we're still friends to this day. And he and the assistant manager, who is his best friend, like he hired him to help him run the store. And I and a couple other people used to have what we called the weekly meeting. And that was outside of the store on Thursdays at his house, eating pizza and just shooting the shit. Basically podcasting without microphones, like you were saying, right?
Right.
And we'd end up watching a movie at some point. And most of the time we'd end up talking through the movie because it was just good conversation. The movie was background noise.
Sure.
And I had a point to this and I've lost it. Shit.
Chris Farley?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So one of the things that we would do sometimes, instead of actually watching a movie, or instead of actually talking, is actually watch the movie. And it was usually to educate me on movies I had never seen before.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Not to get off, but speaking of comedies, Henry is listening to the commentary as he's watching Clerks. He just sent me a picture of him doing it. I'm going to tell him good luck. Anyway.
Finish your point before you fucking forget it.
No, I got it. So one of the movies they introduced me to that I'd never seen was Animal House.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't. I don't have the reverence for it that a lot of people do.
I don't have the reverence because I'm with you. Like it's a funny movie, and Belushi's funny, and Tim Matheson is sort of charming in a way, and Peter Riegert is that his name? Peter Riegert or Riegert?
I don't know. Yeah, I can look it up.
See, like I grew up in the '90s, so I saw a lot of '90s movies. So, but I also saw a lot of '80s and '70s movies as well.
See, and that's. So I'm glad you said that because, like, for me, like, I love Weekend at Bernie's.
I've never seen Weekend at Bernie's.
That's, to me, a funny movie. And anything that McCarthy is in, I can't remember his first name right now. I have to look it up. His last name's, I think it might be McCartney. I might have it wrong.
I don't know who you're talking about.
He's an actor, and you've seen him because he's in 16 Candles, too. I don't know if you've seen that, but hold on. Because he was like the 80s... Andrew McCarthy and he was in a bunch of 80s movies.
Maybe I've seen him, but I can't think of the name with a face, so I'm going to have to look him up.
Oh, hold on. I got it.
Andrew McCarthy?
I got it for you, buddy. But like I saw, I've seen that, like Big. Big to me is a comedy. I like that movie.
Sure. I mean, it's funny, but it's also got some seriousness. It's a dramedy. And it's more comedy than drama, but it's still got some seriousness. It's all about growing up in a fucked up way.
There you go, Rico. The guy on the left.
Hang on. Oh, okay.
That's Andrew McCarthy.
Dude, the dude on the right kind of looks like Ralph Garman.
It's Jonathan Silverman. I'm guaranteeing you've seen him in stuff.
He looks like Ralph Garman. That's all I'm saying.
A little bit. Which, by the way, Babylon.
You saw some Babylon, yeah?
Yeah, I want to talk about that as a whole. There's some controversy that goes with it that we're not going to get into, but there's other controversy with it that I do want to talk about that's not centering around that one individual. Because apparently they announced the fact that Babelvision is now going to be free every week before they process the returns to the people who had paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't go over very well with some people.
I wasn't as invested into it. I
never paid for it. I love Babylon. I love Kev. I love Ralph. But I don't have the resources to put out $10 a month to watch Babelvision. And
maybe stop buying all the video games that you have, and you might be able to do it.
But see, here's the thing, and I have a whole argument for that I won't get into. But here's the thing, even about Babelvision, as much as I love Kev and Ralph, like there was a point in time where for I think 2 months they didn't do a Babylon.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. Because they were doing Babylon in the UK recently.
Right, but prior to that, I think it was like the end of January until the UK one, there was no Babylon because he was shooting Reboot.
Oh, that's probably true. And Ralph was also in Reboot as well. So
right, but they didn't do a Babylon, and I don't know how the payment system functioned, but people were potentially paying for months of no Babylon, and now from what I understand, they were reimbursed. The only thing they were reimbursed was this last month. They didn't get all that money back. They only got the last month's worth back. So
okay.
I don't know. It's just a little odd. But I did watch my first Babylon, and another shout out to Henry because you can hear him on the Babylon. Did you see the London one? Did you listen or see it?
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
The giant spider comment, that's Henry. That was Henry. So
they kind of looked at him and said, "Yeah, he knows what he's talking about."
Yeah. So shout out to Henry for that. I am actually excited to see the first one at the Improv because that'll be the one I want to see. Because it'll be current, it'll be recent with information, and it'll be the first one that Josh Roush had something to do with, and it's someone that we've been talking to behind the scenes.
The next time we get Henry on here, we should ask him about the clip they didn't show of Reboot.
Oh, well, he's told me about it, but he said he won't talk about it publicly because they asked them not to.
Okay, well, I need to reach out to Henry and be like, "What the fuck was it?"
Yeah, you can. He'll talk to you about it, and he said the one thing I will tell you that won't get him in any kind of trouble, but basically the way Kevin describes it prior to them showing it, because Kevin does kind of do a brief, this is what you're going to see, is basically what he told me. And I don't feel like he was towing the line for anything. Kev pretty much lays it out there and then they just see it. There's not much more to it than what was said. So, and I'm okay with not seeing it, and I'm okay with him not telling me too much about it because Mike and I, and I think I've said this on the show before, Logo Mike and I are treating this like Endgame. We don't want to know.
Want to know anything, yeah.
Right. We kind of, Kevin did that 8 or 9 part Instagram, mini, and it was on his YouTube channel too.
I never watched. I watched the first 10 minutes or the first 5 minutes of one. I was like, I don't want to know anything. Yeah, and that's kind of how maybe I'll go back and watch them after. But I want to kind of see Reboot with fresh eyes, so I'm not. I want to see a trailer. I may not even watch a trailer, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna. Oh, come on.
No, I don't know.
You saw a trailer for Endgame.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I won't. But look, I love Kev to death, but he's a little notorious for putting some of the good stuff in the trailer. The Endgame trailer was purposefully deceitful, so. It got your hair on the back of your neck standing up, but it still was deceitful enough that you didn't spoil anything. You know what I mean? True. I have a feeling Kev might throw a good gem into the trailer, and I don't want to lose that. So
an infinity gem.
See, that's the other thing. Like, going back to the comedies, I liked Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Dude, I don't know. For a doctor, I think this is a malpractice. I think I just need to fucking, like, you call me Dr. DiGiorgio or something? What did you want me to do? Like, recommend good movies to you? Or just say, okay, you just don't know what funny is. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I wanted what we got. I'm not complaining. I'm going to call the episode Comedic Counseling, I think. But,
knocked out instead of knocked up.
Yeah, knocked out. Fucked up.
I could recommend some as like an educational for humor. Like you should watch some Charlie Chaplin.
I probably should. I need to see that. I need to see the bit you want us to do. I've never actually seen it.
Oh, of Abbott and Costello?
Yeah, I've never actually seen it.
I mean, do you know? For those who don't know what we're talking about, I and Henry want CJ and I to do a rendition of Who's on First by Abbott and Costello. Now, CJ, do you know what Who's on First is?
I've heard part of it, and I think I've heard variations of it in the Tell
me what Who's on First is.
It's the you're saying they're trying to list the people that are playing the positions, if I recall, and they say who's on first. The guy's name is Who, and they say who's on first, and there's an argument back and forth between. The one I saw wasn't Abbott and Costello. I forget who it was, but the argument is between the two.
It was Rain Man and Tom Cruise.
No, I want to say it was like Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. Like it was, yeah. Like because they used to do a thing called Comic Relief. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. For it was a charity comedy organization.
Yeah.
With Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. But sometimes, like, all three of them would be the hosts, but they would come out sometimes either individually or just two of them and do some bits. And I think on one of them they did a shorter version of the Who's on First bit. I'm pretty sure it was Robin and Billy. Basically, though, you're trying to list who's the names of the players. The guy on first name is Who, and the other person's not getting it. And there's a back and forth about who's actually playing the position of first base.
So basically exactly what you said. So Abbott runs a baseball team. He's the new manager of the baseball team. Costello, the short, fat me, basically, would be...
You said it, not me.
I know. I'm allowed to call myself fat. When you do it, it's insulting.
When I do it, if the dude at the grocery store did it, that's the insulting one. I'm your hetero life mate.
Yeah, but the dude at the grocery store would never say or push me at a fucking line.
Well, I don't know.
Or a queue.
He sounded like he was a douchebag. But anyway, go ahead.
I got into a fight like years ago at a Safeway. Like I got into a fist fight at a Safeway parking lot. It does not stop me. If someone pushes me in line, they're gonna fucking wish they knocked me out.
You told that story, I remember. But anyway, to the bit.
So Costello is fucking. He's like, and now here, Abbott, here Costello. All they have some strange name, kooky names. So we got Who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third. And Costello's like, that's what I want to find out. I said, who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third. Are you the manager? And then he's like, well, that's what I want. I want to find out who's on first. Yes. Who's on first? Yes. Like it's that whole thing. And then it expands to just, instead of just that joke, it's, look, I guarantee it's going to happen. I almost feel like we should probably try and just bring up the script and run through it.
Oh yeah. We'll have to. Yeah. I'm down for doing it. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not anti-comedy in that, like, no, I think that's stupid. Like, let's try it. Absolutely. No, I'm not doing it tonight. Put your phone down.
Fuck you. I'm looking. I'm just gonna find it and send it to you.
Okay. Christ. But like, you asked me about Mike Myers. I love the first Austin Powers. Not a big fan of the other two. You know what I mean?
Really? I like the second one more than the first one.
I could see that. The third one's certainly shit. Can we agree?
The third one is definitely. Holy shit, sugar! Oh my god! Speaking of shit, oh, you smell like. Did you eat diarrhea? Is that what you're farting out? My god, you smell like buffalo wings and throw up. Oh my god, you fucking.
There's a great visual for our listeners.
Oh my god, it just won't stop, dude. I thought like aiming the fan. No, I just think I made it worse. What? What was your question?
I don't remember. You started to tell me about the
the third Austin Powers. At that point, it was being too self-satirical. It was making fun of its own self.
Too much.
It was making.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, Beyonce can't act.
Yeah.
She just can't.
But it wasn't her. Like, I like Mike Myers, but I think, you know what it was? It was too much Mike Myers. Between Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, and then Goldmember, it was just too much Mike Myers for me, I think.
I mean, I'd love to see a fourth Austin Powers.
Would you really? See,
yeah.
I think that falls under the category of shit shit we don't, was it shit? No, what they call it?
No thanks, we already got one.
Yeah, no thanks, we already got one. Yeah.
No, it's a no thanks, we already got one if they rebooted it with a whole other cast.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean,
but I'd rather see a sequel.
But
I would say it was probably going to be awful, but I still want to see it.
But I loved Wayne's World.
I liked the first two. Look, I'm not a big fan of Mike Myers, but I mean, there are lots of parts of Wayne's World. I think I need to see them both like in a row. Because I'm always kind of confused the two with each other.
What I think I like about Wayne's World is because I'm a music guy, I'm a rock guy, so I think that's where it grabs me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's that. But I mean, going back to Chris Farley, like, I like Tommy Boy, but I don't like the Ninja one. I know there's another one he's in. You know, I don't know. I'm repeating myself now, but it's just
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
You didn't like Black Sheep?
It was all right.
Black Sheep is just basically a slightly unfunnier version of Tommy Boy. That's all it is.
Kind of, basically, the key word there was unfunnier. You know,
the key words I said slightlier, slightly unfunnier. Tommy, shut up. You fucking botch loop.
So,
go ahead.
No, please. I was gonna transition.
I said, I discovered that in August will be my 5th anniversary of working at the video room.
Oh shit!
And the only reason I know that is because Robin Williams died about 2 days before I got hired.
You mentioned that before, yeah.
So he died in August of whatever the fuck 5 years ago is.
Wow.
Yeah, right? So it's really unfortunate, but I'm like, oh shit, how long have I been working? All right, when did Robin Williams die? That's the unfortunate.
Did you hear what his son did? What Zach did?
He named him after Robin. I thought it was good.
So the name Robin Williams will live on. Look, as a whole, I think it's awesome. There's a slight problem I have with it. And it's not even that I have a problem with it. I feel bad for the kid. Because I feel
he's going to live in that giant shadow?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only... Look, I still think it was an awesome thing he did. I would never give him shit for it. You know, like if I was to meet Zach tomorrow, I'd be like, dude, that was awesome. But, you know, at the same time, I had that thought of like that kid's got a big name to live up to now, you know?
I mean, it could have been worse. He could have been named Frank Sinatra Jr.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a fucking shadow.
Yeah, but he also became a pretty successful singer. Sort of.
Not really. He became more successful leading his dad's band later in his life, later in Sinatra Sr.'s life.
Right.
He did this, you know, the saloon thing himself. He did the standalone, I'm doing my own thing. And the only thing that was really kind of famous of Frank Sinatra Jr. was he got kidnapped.
Okay. I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know that? So in 1963, Sinatra Jr. was kidnapped by these 3 guys. One of them is, I think, named Barry Keoghan. And there's a whole movie called Stealing Sinatra, by the way, about this.
Okay.
It's David Arquette. It's William H. Macy. It's the dude from American
Arquette's an interesting choice.
as the head kidnapper. It's weird. It's a weird movie. And the kid who plays Junior is Thomas Ian Nicholas, the guy from
I know
the first couple the American Pie movies,
and Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Wasn't he also like? He was also he played Walt Disney fairly recently.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like a direct-to-DVD movie called like Finding Walt or something.
Oh, okay, because I know there's the one where Tom Hanks plays him.
Yeah, not this is. I mean, to be fair, he looks like young Walt Disney with like the mustache and everything. Looks like 1920s era Walt Disney. So, the fuck was I talking about?
The Sinatra Jr. movie.
Oh, yeah. So, these guys, Sinatra Jr. is performing in Tahoe. And these fucking guys kidnap him with a gun and, like, put him in the trunk of their car and, like, drive through and then lock him in a fucking house and bring him food. And these guys just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And Sinatra Sr. was on, like, the phone, like, had the FBI, was, like, in touch with the president, being like, I need to find my fucking kid. What can we do something? And, I mean, this is when Sinatra was really this is when Frank Sinatra was Frank Sinatra. Like, the fact that someone had the balls to steal his kid was kind of, I mean, I say kid, like, I mean, he was 19. Like, he was still.
You shook Sinatra's hand. You knew better, Willie.
That's right. You know, to quote Ocean's 13, like.
I love those movies. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So, I mean, the kidnappers, like, the ransom was, I want to say $240,000, like something so low. Like, you're like, and Sinatra was like, because he said, what do you want? You want $1 million? And like the guy's like, no, $1 million's not going to cut it. We want $240,000. And Sinatra was like, what? Okay.
That's like that sequence between Brody and Jay in Strikes Back, where they're talking about like how much money they're going to get. And he's like, all right, what do you want? You want half? Okay, that's not good enough. I'll give you 2/3. He's like, no, motherfucker, you said half.
Yeah. Fuck you. You said half. You can't take that back. Sort of similar to that, except they had a whole script. So they were following the script of what to tell us to Sinatra. If he said one thing, like, no, we want this. Because the guy didn't know, like, should I ask for $1 million? Like, so, I mean, obviously the kid got free. Like, he fucking, you know.
Yeah.
I think one of the kidnappers sort of let him go, but not really. Kind of was like, this is just wrong. There was one guy who was like, I'm not in this. This is wrong. This is the wrong thing to do. But ever since then, Sinatra always carried a roll of quarters in his pocket. Because at one point, he had to go to a payphone to meet them, and he ran out of quarters. And he felt like, oh my God, I just lost my son. Because I ran out of quarters. What if I missed the call? Yada, yada, yada. So he was buried with like a bunch of shit. Like they gave him a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, some Jolly Ranchers and shit like that. Like he was into candy and everything. And they gave him, like, he buried him with a roll of quarters. Yeah. So they made a whole movie, stealing Sinatra. It's weird. It's awful in a very kind of good way, especially David Arquette. And then the fucked up thing is that in real life, after they found the kid and arrested the kidnappers, they turned the whole thing around, saying that it was Frank Sinatra Jr.'s idea for him to get some fame and infamy.
Oh, kind of like the Jussie Smollett thing that's going on now.
Yeah, the Jussie Smollett kind of thing. And I mean, Sinatra had this quote. I'm going to fuck it up. But he basically said, "This family needs publicity, like we need appendicitis or something akin to that." He's like,
"We need publicity, like you need a dick in the ass."
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I mean, he called the media fucking $2 hookers once, but he would never say, "Oh yeah, we need this like a dick in the ass." Well, Sinatra's a little bit more classy than that.
Well, sure. Going back to Thomas E. Nicholas real quick, the movie was called Walt Before Mickey.
Okay, I think I combined it, like Finding Forrester and Finding Walt.
I think there is a Walt Disney movie there's Saving Mr. Banks, I think is
right,
and that's a Walt-esque. It's more about Mary Poppins, but it's
right.
Walt-esque, yeah.
You know who would be good at? I think visually would look like young Walt Disney.
Who's that?
And I would see like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
If he wasn't muscular, if he was just thin,
Yeah.
He looks enough like Walt Disney where I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I could
shit.
see that. I was looking up something about the Avengers the other day, to get our requisite Marvel reference in real quick. Did you know that Liam Hemsworth was actually up for the role of Thor first, and Chris beat him out for it?
I did hear that. I heard that, I want to say right after the first Thor came out. Because I looked up trivia about Thor after Thor came out.
Right.
And yeah, I remember it was kind of this weird thing where brother against brother for a brief period.
Yeah. So,
and also Tom Hiddleston had auditioned. There's footage of Hiddleston auditioning as Loki, as Thor.
I mean,
with like long blonde hair, like they put a wig on him and everything.
Maybe it's hard to visualize because we've seen him as Loki, but like I don't think so. I think he's
for sure not.
Yeah, but as Loki, yeah, like, and I want him as Bond. Like, there was talk for a while that he would get Bond after Daniel Craig, and I would be all for that. But I think I hate to say it, I think him dating Taylor Swift cost him that.
Is that what cost him that, or
I think
is
so.
it the fact that he's a better villain?
I think it was, well, maybe that too, but I think more
are they still dating?
No, they broke up a while ago.
Well, then so what? Is that the curse? Like, if someone dates Taylor Swift, they lose their career? Is that what happened to fucking Jacob from Twilight?
Well, yeah. No, but he was all over social media and stuff. Like, he was wearing a I Love Taylor t-shirt at one point and stuff. Like, it became it
came off negatively.
Yeah.
It was backlash.
Yeah, a lot of it. So I think that hurt him.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is a shame because, like, I know it's going to sound dumb and it's only like a 2-minute sequence, but like in the first Avengers when he's coming down the stairs in this suit trying to get the eyeball, that's James Bond to me. Like that, the way he was just carrying himself, that felt very Bond to me. Like I was on board.
I could see it. I mean, I still would like to hear other options first.
Well, I forget. They're now saying Chris Hemsworth is the front runner to take it on. I
mean, there is a current movie of Chris Hemsworth in a suit with a gun. It's an alien type of gun, but I hear that's bombing right now.
Is it bombing? Because I'm actually curious to see it. Like, I actually think it looks not bad. And I'm a big...
I think it's supposed to look fine, but I've heard it's got like a 60% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I really rely on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, there's been movies that they've shredded that I thought was pretty good. But I don't know, man. I'm going into this movie and I'm just like...
Forget Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think in general? Like,
what do I think of the trailer that I've seen?
Yeah.
I like Tessa Thompson and I love Chris Hemsworth. I would be more interested... I don't know. It's hard to look at them without thinking of Ragnarok. You know what I mean?
I get it. I do get it.
I just don't. I think Chris Hemsworth is an interesting choice, and I think Tessa Thompson is an interesting choice. But I don't want to see any more of them together unless they're Thor and Valkyrie. Like I just feel like it was just, you guys had chemistry in a funny, goofy fantasy movie. Let's do it again. And I'd rather see Liam Neeson. I'd rather see Liam Neeson and young Tessa Thompson. You know, old Irish curmudgeon, young American black woman.
Kind of like a twist on the original one.
Sort of. You know, you could still keep the same premise. They're in London or wherever the fuck they are. They're in Europe.
I think it's Europe. I don't think it's just London. But yeah.
Or even better, I would love to see Emma Thompson, who is she was from the third one and she's in this one. She's sort of the new head of MIB, and have her be the Tommy Lee Jones character and have Chris Hemsworth. So you have an older woman and a young man. I think it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just, this looks like the millennial version of Men in Black. And I know the irony is I am a millennial, but that doesn't necessarily mean I like millennial fucking movies. And that was my problem with Aladdin.
Well, I've been a big fan of all the Men in Black movies. Like, I've liked them all. I have. Right. There's not one of them I didn't like. Because I know there was some people who didn't like Josh Brolin kind of replacing Tommy Lee Jones in the third one. I didn't have a problem with it, but
I thought that was the best part of the whole fucking movie, personally. I fell asleep during MIB3, but I thought Josh Brolin was phenomenal as a young Tommy Lee Jones.
So real quick, Men in Black, 24%, so it must have gone up since the last time you looked.
Okay.
But it is in the red. It only made 85.
Is it better scored than Dark Phoenix? Because that's at the bottom.
Not by much. Hold on. I had it right here. Hold on. Dark Phoenix, no. Yes, by 1%. Dark Phoenix is 23%.
Wow, dude.
And the revenue on it went down 73% from last week.
I've got to say, I think there's a probability that we could probably blame one person.
Really?
Yeah. Maddie Granger for not being on that movie and fixing it in the first fucking place.
Fuck yeah.
In all seriousness, I think it's Simon Kinberg, I want to say his name is.
The director?
Yeah.
I think it is Kinberg, yeah. But he did some of the other ones, too, if I recall. Yeah.
The ones that are not good.
Well, wait, no, because didn't he do Days of Future Past?
Nope.
No, okay.
He may have co-wrote it. That's Singer. Singer came back. Singer.
Okay, yeah.
But then Kinberg, I think, did Apocalypse, which was okay.
I liked it.
It just wasn't. It wasn't Days of Future Past. Sure. It wasn't even First Class.
Right.
And he also wrote the Dark Phoenix storyline in the last. I almost called it The Last Jedi, but The Last Stand, the third one.
That's why it looks so familiar then.
Yeah, because he's just like, we didn't get it right this first time. We're going to get it right the second time. And everyone's like, no, you fucked it up again.
Yeah.
Maddie, you should have fucking called up Brian and be like, look, let me write the fucking thing.
Yeah. I mean, he recently put out some love to his old ex-family on Twitter. Did you see that?
I did, yeah. That is always the coolest thing of just being like, what is Maddie going to share that's going to be like, oh, fuck. Yeah,
it's usually pretty impressive. I can't tell how many times I've looked down and seen like an alert from Maddie Granger, and I'm like, oh, not in a bad way, but just like, okay.
He's either trolling Donald Trump or he's sharing some awesome pictures.
Yeah, or some awesome weird fact that you wouldn't know unless you were Maddie Granger. So, I think that's probably a good place to say goodbye. I think, unless there's more to the story. Unless there's more to the story, I'm not trying to kill.
No. I mean, there's more to this. There's tons more to the story that I will not go into.
I meant things you wanted to say.
Right.
So I will thank everybody for listening. It's been a interesting episode, and we appreciate it, and it's as always, and thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you on the next one. CJ here with a few thank yous, and I'll let you know how you can get in touch with and follow the show and us. If you want to agree with or yell at us, follow Rico, me, and the show on Twitter. The show is at PodAskew, Rico is at RantsRico, and I'm at M_Blade. Listen to PodAskew on the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else you find podcasts. Please don't forget to rate and comment. We want to thank our logo designer and show friend Mike for his work on our wonderful logo. You can contact him for artwork via email at mpxl.s2art@gmail.com. Again, that's mpxl.s2art@gmail.com. Thank you to Dubbed in English for our opening theme music, 96 Reasons. Thank you to Samuel Lemons for our closing music, Theme Askew. You can find Sam on Twitter at Samuel Lemons, all one word, and his music on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/Samuel-Lemons. Finally, our biggest thank you is to you, everyone, for listening. Rico and I really appreciate your time and look forward to bringing you another episode soon.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're probably going to find out as you go out there that you're not going to amount to jack squat. You're going to end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by